that
water.
though, so.
Right.
Well, I'm not here to argue, is the point. You asked for my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
That is my opinion.
No, there's
I'll-
no problem whatsoever with folks who view this as a change that they're not supportive of. There will be some people who will be unhappy with this change.
There will be, and it's
Yeah.
purely the principle of it for me, purely. I'm going to pay somebody else more. I am, because I pay more than that now. I'm going to pay somebody else more later. I really am, just because of the principle of it. I'm not going to do this. Thank you.
Well, and you'll still have the
Say,
option.
Stana, we don't want to have a back and forth, but you're welcome to come up and chat with us.
And I don't mind
when we're
discussing
done.
with you either. I really don't.
I know, we discussed
Okay.
that.
Yeah. But Marianne, as always, if you think of other concerns, because I know you're good at coming up with what ifs that I think we will benefit from, where it might be something that we have not anticipated. So, you can contact any of us and we'll try to, bake it in as we're moving forward with a draft
I'm
of the
going to make
contract.
this difficult, I just wanted to know that. If there's a class action lawsuit, if there's something I can do, I'm not going to cooperate with this.
Okay.
Don't take it personally, please, don't.
We're
Because I
not.
appreciate the spirit of it, because I don't think anybody's out there like, get ya. It's not,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, I don't know.
No,
It's not a-
I think, a debating point, a logical point for it to be discussed is if there's one company picked as the winner, there are other companies which are not the winners, and some of them are locally owned and some of them are not large, and so that's completely legitimate for discussion, completely. And I think we all acknowledge that.
And just for the record, we sent this RFP to every single licensed hauler in the county, including some that were in Orange County, just to make sure that everybody had a fair shot at bidding.
And that was, what's the number? It was like north of 10,
Oh, it was, we sent out 19 bid packets.
19 bid packets.
Yeah, there were. a
And we
large
had,
number.
and we had pre-bid conferences with how many haulers?
I believe 6 of them showed up for the pre-bid conference.
We sat around this table with a variety of haulers.
And the purpose of that was to answer their questions, ask questions, and let them have enough information to decide whether they wanted to make a bid.
Yeah, that's what we do with big projects like this all the time. So like when we had the water treatment plant filtration unit and the construction and the electric contractors were looking at the job, we said, come chat, here's the RFP, but our engineers and our public works guys will be here if you want to ask questions in person too. So yeah, just customary process. So what do you want to? Who brought that up?
I don't have a lot to say, but I guess maybe because I came from a place where this was just handled by the municipality, that I don't completely understand where you're coming from, Marianne. I do understand where you're coming from in terms of local businesses, Obviously, if you're a smaller business, you're not going to be able to give the same kind of bid as you're going to be able to give if you're a larger business. You're just not going to be able to offer the same prices, and I certainly want to keep money within the community as much as humanly possible. But I think that the positives outweigh the negatives, and the choice, tell me if I'm wrong here, is you sign up for this or you bring it yourself.
Yes.
So there is a choice, although it's not the choice that you want, and I get it. Because, not everybody wants to put their garbage or has time to put their garbage in their car and schlep over there. Like, I totally get that. But I feel like, I don't know, and I'm not going to be saving that much. I use a small bin, and I'm only going to be saving a couple dollars a month. Like, I'm not going to be saving much. And maybe I'll go back to using a bigger bin because it's only $1 a month. I don't know. But that's kind of how I saw it. I just feel like there are so many positives. But I really hear you about wanting to keep the money local. That I get.
I was speaking with someone today about the idea of reaching out to some of the local haulers and saying like, hey, were you guys close to putting in an offer? Because we could certainly do that.
My next question.
We haven't awarded anything.
Right, my next question would be, could maybe they work cooperatively to do it or something? Do you know what I mean? Maybe a couple of, maybe like 2 local haulers could get together and figure out a schedule together to do it. Is that making it too complicated? I don't know. I'm just saying out loud, if that's a way to also keep the business more local. It's just a thinking out loud.
Yeah, at one point in time, we've spoken about one district being the town, the other being the village,
Mm-hmm.
and splitting, so 2 companies would, but I guess there were logistical issues with
Yeah.
economies of scale,
Yeah, I totally get it. So that was just, I'm just thinking out loud because I haven't been at all the meetings.
Yeah, I'm also not so sure that there are any local, small locally owned haulers. Because one of the haulers that I assumed was locally owned, when they put in their bid, I saw that they were a corporation owned by other people. So I'm not sure that there actually is a small locally owned hauler.
Are they a chain?
Yeah, I think there's been an enormous amount of consolidation in this industry, and a lot of times, even the local haulers might maintain their original brand, but they may have a different parent. I'm thinking of just one outfit that I assumed was local-ish. Maybe we can just talk offline. I'm curious what you learned about that.
The pricing for the lowest bid that you described effectively gives you an extra 60 gallons for $1, which seems to me that it's not in any way encouraging less waste. It's in fact encouraging more. Have you given thought to that and how that might be structured?
I think it's encouraging perhaps a larger container, but are you going to create more garbage because you have a larger container?
This is America.
All right, so how many guns are you throwing out, Terrence? But in all seriousness, I think the amount of garbage that people make is pretty consistent. I think we all want to focus on getting less to the landfill out of what we're putting in our garbage can, but I just don't see anybody saying, I have a big garbage can, I'm going to make more garbage. I may be wrong on that.
It's probably already within the residence.
Fair enough.
And I can speak to that just anecdotally. I have what is kind of an apartment in my house upstairs, 2 bedrooms and a bathroom, where my son resided there with another. He cohabited up there until he graduated college, and since they've been gone, we have the same container. It just doesn't always get filled as much. We can't go down to the small container. That would be not enough. But so our larger container is just 60% filled, and sometimes during the winter we put it out every other week, and that's okay with me in the winter, not in the summer. But that's just anecdotal,
What impact will this have on our town recycling center?
I don't see much of an impact at all because all of the garbage is going there already through the flow control law. It's just one truck, one company is going to be bringing theirs.
Not the recycling, though.
Oh, they're not the recycling, right?
I think it might actually encourage more folks to use the town recycling center. Like, I use the recycling center for trash and recycling, and I compost at home, just put it in a composting bin in my yard. But if someone objected to the idea of using the hauler that we've selected, then they might choose to bring the trash on their own to the recycling center. But I think the people who are currently bringing trash to the recycling center, or recycling to the recycling center, will probably continue to do so.
Right.
They might pick up some more customers.
I'm pretty concerned about plastic bags, though we have a plastic bag ordinance in the village. There's just no place really to discard them properly, knowing that they're going to be recycled. There are a couple of local supermarkets that do accept them, and a couple of box stores do, but exactly where they go is sort of a mystery. Actually, are they being recycled? And I think that's a huge issue facing our planet. And I'm just curious if this hauler can improve upon that in some way that we choose.
Well, we can look at what they're offering and see what it says about plastic bags.
But I believe they're just offering single stream.
Yeah, it's a single
recycling
stream.
without-
You know what, there are no plastic bags, big, big letters.
No plastic bags, no recycling.
Hmm?
There's no recycling of plastic bags.
No recycling of plastic bags.
All right, anything else? We want to have Stana and Marianne up here together to have a conversation.
Sing the Sanford and Son theme song.
So, action items, we're gonna discuss this with the town and see what the town feels about this whole concept. You may reach out, if you think there's another hauler or two to reach out to proactively. That's something to look into. And I seems to have another comment from the public.
I have one more question. Okay. So I got my husband to send me a picture of the bill. I do use a 35-gallon container once a week.
Wow,
Yeah, well, we don't have a lot of
once
us.
a month. No, you put it out
We
once a week.
put it out once a
Billing
week.
is
We bill
a
is
month.
once a month, yep. And will there be taxes and all that stuff on top? Is this the price before all that? All right, so I have to do a little math to figure out exactly what it is, but it's not much of a change. I'm paying $82.87 quarterly before the taxes and whatnot.
Yeah, on my bill, I have a larger size. I pay $7.41 a month in taxes and surcharges. Since it's taxing a smaller amount, I'm assuming that'll go down a little bit, but I'm assuming it should be about the same, so.
So the taxes and surcharges were part of the bid numbers here?
This is the price.
That's a gross number?
That is the price before taxes and
Oh,
surcharges.
before, okay.
Right. So, because right now I'm paying $35.52 before taxes and surcharges, and it comes out to $42.91 at the end of the day. So,
So I really don't want to open up a can of worms here, I just want to ask a conceptual question. As part of the discussion and working out the actual contract with this, with any company, would we ask them for a rationale why there was not a greater reduction in the small trash cans and what their thinking is and what the justification for that is? And
we can ask.
would we want to, explore the concept of adjusting those numbers a little bit to make it more equitable? I don't know that we would. I'm just throwing it out there as a talking point.
I think it's definitely good to ask, but I would imagine their response would be, they gotta drive the truck to the house. There's no,
Yeah.
their largest expense is the vehicle and the fuel.
So that's kind of a flat fee, and they can make some changes when the trash
Yeah,
gets larger.
They buy the totes and they let us use them. But
Just
You
off the
can
top of my head.
you can get a large tote and not fill it every week.
That's true, that's true. Yeah.
anything else?
That's all I got.
What do you think, Alice? Anything? Okay.
Okay, she thinks we're good.
Yeah,
right, we didn't have to adjourn? Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Do you want to bring these to the next meeting?
Important perspective, I really do.
What is this then?
Appreciate your point.
Is this the meeting I missed?
That's the conversation.
No, that's not happening tonight because of the snow.
Oh,
Well, meeting-
Hey,